Hey guys, welcome to the Money Mix podcast number 6. Thank you guys for joining us. And again, you're with Al and Stan. And the first story is actually a pretty interesting one. So Disney's deal, basically a major blow. At least that's at least the impression that they're going to cancel $1 billion investment into, well, basically Disney in Florida. And this is because of the whole entire fight that Disney is having with DeSantis specifically. And so at this point, do you think, Stan, that if this actually happens and they will actually not put any more money into Disney in Florida, that this will have a major effect on Florida or Floridians? What do you
Uh,
think?
I don't think so necessarily. I think that it would probably be a detriment to Disney itself, right? Because I'm assuming they're putting money into Florida to maybe expand, and if they're not going to expand, then they're not going to make more money. So I'm actually thinking that Disney is going to hurt more because you have the whole state of Florida, which can get into contracts with any other company. You never know. Maybe some other theme park might come to Florida, right, and take away that spotlight. So
Well, I don't think that that's feasible. I don't think that there's anything that could really rival Disney in terms of like the size of the park, in terms of the characters, in terms of rides, in terms of everything that they offer. I don't think that there's really a competitor that either has the money or the characters that could possibly rival it, especially in Florida. Florida is kind of almost synonymous with Disney. So I don't know. I don't know if that can happen, but I do believe that, at least I agree with you, that I think this might hurt Disney more than it does hurt Florida.
yeah,
A lot.
exactly, absolutely, I do think that. We're talking. Obviously, Disney's a huge company and they do a variety of different things. But the expansion and or investment into their current theme parks would help them a lot. And if they're not going to do that, the real question is, are they going to pull out of Florida? What do you think?
No, no, no way.
No. Okay.
Like it's so unfeasible for them to do that because these rides, these places, and all that, they're not like, oh, just wrap it up and take it to go. Like, I mean, this is, it would literally take them billions and billions of dollars to try to go somewhere else and actually open up a theme park the same way. And I don't like, to me, I almost feel like this is a publicity stunt more than anything else, just to kind of go show you, hey, we're fighting back. But in reality, you're like, they weren't investing $1 billion, and now they're saying they're not going to invest because of Florida. They
Well,
weren't
okay.
investing in Florida. They were investing for themselves. They were investing so that they
Right.
make more money. So this
Right.
thing,
Right.
like, we're not going to invest. It's like, okay,
Is,
like,
is this because of Bud Light?
right? No, no, no. This has nothing to do with Bud Light. No, no.
No.
This is its own thing. Yeah.
Okay, so why are they so negative towards Dos Santos? Like what did he do? Uh,
He
you know.
basically, so okay, so there was a bill which was titled, even though it wasn't, it was titled as "Don't Say Gay" bill, and Disney at that
Okay,
point,
say it again.
there was a bill that was titled. It wasn't actually called this, but it was kind of played as "Don't Say Gay" bill. It was a bill that basically said that I think it was until third or fourth grade, you shouldn't talk to children, like teachers shouldn't talk to children about. Um, basically sex. They shouldn't talk about gay
Okay,
people, straight
so
people, anything.
Disney is against that?
So Disney came out against the bill, which at that point
Wow.
that they were calling "Don't Say Gay" bill, and Disney came out and go like, "Hey, we're against this. We're for unity and all that kind of stuff." So
Unity, what
this,
does that have to do with unity? Talking
so
about
okay, okay,
sex
okay,
is
okay,
like
okay.
unity?
All right, but DeSantis, this was his bill, and
Right.
he basically didn't like it. He was like, you know what? And again, some people are against this thing as well. That he went like, you know what? We looked into Florida, or excuse me, we looked into Disney, and Disney in Florida basically has the rights, and I forget what this is exactly called, but they basically have a specific right where they could function by themselves without adhering to any of the city or state laws. So
Wow.
meaning,
I see.
like if you have a house in like say Florida and you want to put like a dog bunker or something like that, you have to go to the city. You got to get approval. They have to come in. They have to see
Yeah.
it. They have to pay for it. Well,
Yeah.
Disney doesn't have to play by any of these rules. They do whatever they want, how they want. They even
Right.
have
But
their own police force and all that kind of stuff.
they have their own police force?
Yes, yes, yes. Disney
What?
has their own like meaning they like meaning.
Is
Don't
it?
get me wrong.
Wait,
They
wait.
don't
Let
jail
me stop you.
people, but
Let me
they
stop
have
you.
their own. Like they have their own fire department. They have
Wait.
their own everything.
Okay, let me stop you for a second, okay?
All right. Okay.
Is this only in Florida, or do they have it in LA as, I mean, I'm sorry, Anaheim as well?
I honestly don't know. I
That's great.
probably not, but I honestly don't know. And this statute basically allowed them to basically do whatever they want in their own
Wow.
territory. So DeSantis
Wow.
went like, you know what? I'm going to remove that thing because you shouldn't have it.
Oh, okay.
If you're playing in politics, well, you shouldn't have this thing that basically outlies you as to do whatever you want, whenever
So,
you want, kind of thing.
so
And
what you're saying is that they're they they have a bill where that bill specifies that you're not supposed to talk about sex up until a certain age, right? And
mhm.
somehow it also ties in the fact that Disney has autonomy, and that autonomy is going to be removed. Is that what you're trying to say? Or are you trying to say?
No, 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 no. Okay, okay, okay. No, 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 no. It doesn't tie into it like directly. What happened was DeSantis went like, "Hey, all right, okay, so you want to get in on this, like you want to get into politics. All right. Well, I looked into basically your business in Florida, and I saw that you have autonomy that
I
other
see.
businesses don't. Like you're not run as a regular business. You're run
Yeah.
as basically your own country in a sense. And he's like,
Right.
I'm going to remove that
Uh-huh.
because of whatever.
You're
And
getting, you're
like,
butting into my business, and you're trying to take away that particular bill from me. So I'm
but
going to take away the autonomy from you, like
yes,
Vatican City in Italy is a complete autonomous city. So they pretty much like they have their own police force and
sure.
probably their own firemen and all that stuff. So it's the same thing for Disney in Florida. Okay, so
To
kind
some
of,
extent, I don't know if I compare or like compare them exactly apples to apples like that,
yeah,
but to some extent. But the thing is to play devil's advocate. There's people who are upset with DeSantis for doing this because they're saying this is a political retaliation. Like
it is.
you shouldn't. Absolutely, it definitely looks like it. So
Oh,
I'm with you on that.
it doesn't look
But
like it. It
they're
is.
saying, well, you
I'm
shouldn't
just,
do that. You shouldn't try to punish a business because they disagree with you politically. So I'm just gonna play, like I just want to give both sides of that. So it's not
I
only
mean,
one side.
yeah, I kind of see it. You know what I mean? I kind of see both sides of it. But I'm sorry, like the right thing to do isn't to teach, kids sexuality at a young age. But everything else aside from that, I mean, it could be argued, right? I mean,
Sure, I
whether
agree.
you know,
I agree. Everything is an argument when it comes to this because I
right?
I really do see like Disney shouldn't be above the law because they're really a big company, right? That shouldn't be the case. There shouldn't be like, well, we have our own. It's like no, you could just like you could go based on everybody like work the same way as everybody else.
Well,
At the same, yeah, go ahead.
no, what I was gonna say was they are so rich. Why not just buy an island? I mean, there's so many islands for sale, right? I mean, they could just buy an island.
Oh, because how do people get there? The reason why they have like Disney in like really popular areas is because they know people will drive there. But
No, no, I'm
they're like they're not gonna
saying,
like
right. No, no. What I'm saying is that the autonomy aspect of what they want, they can buy an island and they can have all the autonomy they like on that island. That's what I'm saying.
sure, but they want autonomy to do what they want in terms of getting people there, and they don't want to have to go through
Yeah.
red tape and get approvals and pay for that and all that kind of stuff. They could just do what they want as opposed to everybody else, every other business that has to get approval for every small little thing that they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're like they absolutely should not have that. But at the same time, I kind of agree with people who are saying like you shouldn't like if you're in governor, excuse me, if you're in government, you shouldn't use the government's power to kind of like, go, okay, well, you
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
after me on this, you come
Yeah.
like, I get that.
I mean, yet again, I see both sides of the aspect when it comes to, okay, well, you had that provision,
Hmm.
and now just because we disagree with one another, we're going to remove that provision. I get it. You know what I mean? Because then you can also say that for anything, right? The
Right.
government doesn't like this, or remove that, or we're going to implement this.
The
I really,
the
what I don't like. Sorry,
Yeah,
one last
yeah.
thing I
No,
want
no, no.
to
Go ahead.
state. One thing that I really don't like about government is the fact that they're making all the decisions. I mean, they say that, well, you can vote. Yeah, you can vote for certain things, right? But then yet
Hmm.
again, for most of the stuff, it's like, okay, what? Where did this come from? You know what I mean? What we as the people want in general is a fair vote, right? Not just like, oh well, you know what I mean, the 50% vote or this or whatever that. Like, if majority of the people vote for something, then it should go through, and then it should not come up on the ballot at least for a decade or more. It shouldn't be like, well, we voted no on marriage. I'm not going to say anything about any specific type of marriage, right? But they just say we voted no on marriage. You can't bring it up again next year. You know what I mean? Oh, what about marriage this time? But we'll change it up a little bit and let's vote on it again. No, no, you won't be able to do that not till at
But
least a decade. But even
that's
even if something doesn't go through, next year or the following year it'll go through. So you know what I mean, like,
right, right. But see, okay, to play devil's advocate on this though, um, I kind of like, see, from a bad perspective. So, for example, if there's something that you don't like, you know how, like, let's just say, for example, they want to cut funding from a really good program, and they're constantly like putting that bill up, trying to cut funding from it, and finally, on like the fifth year of it being brought up, it finally passes and they cut funding.
well, that's
I
what.
agree. That is horrible. But
Yeah,
at the same time, there's also the flip side of that. There are bills that you do like, that you want passed. Like, so for example, to make legalized weed. There's a lot of people that are for it in this country, especially now. And it took year after year after year it being on ballots over and over and over again until finally, I think it was
yeah,
Colorado that passed it first. They
yeah.
finally passed it. It wasn't
No,
like
no.
the first time it was on there.
I
So
no,
it's like one of those things that, yes, I agree with you, but at the same time, like, oh man, I could see the flip side of that.
sure, you can we can see the flip side of everything, but I think Washington state probably passed it first, and I think then it was Colorado,
I
because
You might be right. I
yeah.
just remember Colorado, but you might
Well,
be right.
that's because when Colorado passed it, everybody started to go there for some reason. Nobody cared about Washington. But yeah, no, So what I would say is that Dos Santos is pretty much doing what he thinks is right, and from the standpoint of the Republican majority of Florida, it fares well for them, right? But then if a Democrat comes in and then he starts reversing what he did, and then he starts implementing what he feels is right. So yeah, I mean, I really don't think that the government should have that much power over the people, right? So yet again, I think
But
that
this isn't. But wait. I feel like we're sort of going away now. Um, if we're talking about this issue right now with um, Florida and Disney,
yes,
I
that's
I don't think it's the government, like government has too much power. I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like Disney has a lot of I feel like Disney has a lot of power in pretty much every category they're in. Like, I think that most people just didn't know that Disney had that kind of power just with their theme parks.
no,
But I
but
think
that's
most
fine. But that's fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying, like, I think that people should vote on the fact as to whether Disney should be allowed to be autonomous or not. Not Dos Santos. That's what I'm trying to get
well, no,
to.
no. Okay, hold on a second. He didn't implement it in the first place. This
Sure.
was, if I'm not mistaken, this was done like, a long, long, long time ago,
Doesn't
where they
matter.
got this provision
Right.
where, right, but he's not like implementing laws where he's doing that. He's just basically going, this is unfair, and you're removing it. Don't get me wrong. He's
Right.
most likely doing it because that they went against him, so he went
Right.
against them as like, hey, you guys are the woke company, and I'm against wokeness, so screw you.
Right.
Um,
right.
So
But what I'm saying is that politically speaking, people should have the power to vote on whether this should happen or it shouldn't happen. That's all I'm trying to say. With
do you
every
wait, no, wait. Do you really feel that people should vote on one particular company that wants something for themselves? Like, I don't know if that's like
doesn't
that's kind
matter.
of why you have no, come on, it does. Like, can you imagine how many votes that a regular person would have to do if every single company that wanted any kind of thing for themselves
No,
that's
no, no,
different?
no, 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 no. What I'm saying is, not like it'll be a precedent, right? I'm not like, okay, so there'll be no company that'll be able to do it. That's what I'm saying. The vote should be there, not necessarily specifically on Disney. Disney is just, the case at hand, right? I'm
Mhm.
just saying that they should vote on whether that should be allowed or not allowed. That's what I'm trying. Generally speaking, not just particularly only Disney. You know what I mean? So I think people should have all the power to decide any political issue. Okay, if it's something private, then fine. Like go ahead and take care of it yourself. But if something that the government issues, right? So I really do think that the people need to vote on it. But let's get back to the topic and let's conclude it because the actual issue here is that whether Disney's gonna who's gonna essentially suffer from this? Will it be Florida or Disney? Well, obviously it would be Disney, and I actually kind of agree with you that they're making it more than it is. You know what I mean? Maybe this is just to draw more attention to
Well,
Disney
again,
and
it's a
Florida.
publicity stunt, like I said.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I could actually go along with that and say that probably could be the case, right?
Well, again, it's a publicity stunt uh, for them just to get like people to go with them. I think the problem is for them is they are going up against somebody who's very popular on the right, and they now are pushing themselves more and more into political sphere, which is to me, I don't understand why
Exactly.
companies continue to do this. Stay out of politics. You don't need to be there. That's fine. Yes, a lot of people are constantly going, you need to, as a company, stop. No, 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 you don't. You need to go like, hey, we're not a political company. We don't do politics. This, we sell services, we sell products. This is what we are, and that's it. That used to be the case. Now you have companies who are coming out against politicians. It's such a stupid like in
Yeah.
short term, they actually might benefit because there's going to be people like, yeah, I'm going to support Disney because I agree with their messaging. But in the long term, they still lose half the country who says, you
I
know
don't.
what, they're against the stuff that I believe. Screw
I
them.
don't. I, I
It's
I
just
disagree.
dumb.
I disagree with you on that because I think most people don't pay attention to it. Like especially like people 30 and under don't really care. You know what I mean? They just
Oh, I have no clue where you're getting that. Like that's
really.
the reason. Like literally everything right now that has happened in terms of companies coming out and supporting like political causes and social causes has been one of the biggest things. And it's like they've seen numbers go up, well, and then hurt as well. But like yeah, there's like Nike, for example, came out during BLM and they were really pro BLM and like very, very, very heavily. And they were literally one of the only companies through the pandemic that actually saw their numbers increase. Their stock went up by a pretty big margin, while practically all other stocks went down. So they saw benefit in doing that.
I think you know why, but
Sure, but again, but in the long run, they also are screwing them because they are basically they sided with one side, and now you have another side that's going like, well, I'm not going to buy those products anymore. And there were
I
people that were there
see.
were people that were burning Nikes because they were like, I don't support this.
Sure, sure. You can burn it, and then like 3, 5 years later, you're gonna go back to it. I really don't see like a boycott
I
from one
think I think it's the other
side.
way around. I think it's the other way. Like I think literally what you said. I think it's the other way around. I think it's the people that supported initially, like the people like, yeah, I'm with Nike because they're with me on this messaging, blah blah blah. But then as soon as like they get basically tuckered out, where they're like, oh, you know what, yeah, like a year passed, I'm like I'm not as engaged with this anymore. So you lose that customer, but the customer that you lost way back, like meaning the political side that you went against, I don't think that they're coming back. At
Okay.
least a lot of them aren't. That's what I think.
I'll disagree with you on that one, but I think we both agree that companies should stay out of politics,
Non-political. Yep.
right? And Disney, if this is true, Disney is going to suffer quite a bit. I think their revenue is going to go down, but we'll yet to see.
We'll
Yet
see.
to, yet
Well,
to see.
speaking of potential revenue going down, TikTok. So TikTok, uh, just today, the Montana governor Greg, I'm probably going to say his name incorrectly, Gianforte, signed a bill
French
that I'm sorry.
French guy.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know his background. Maybe. So signed a bill banning TikTok from the state completely.
Oh my
Um,
God.
right. So basically, he's saying that like just to quote him a little bit, he's saying this is to protect Montanas. I didn't know actually that was what they were called. Basically, it's the idea that the personal data and private data is going to the Chinese Communist Party, and he this is a way for him to protect his people.
Right, of course.
Uh,
And
so
it only took how long to do so? Like, is this a new product that's out?
right,
No,
right.
it's
Oh,
been out.
it's true. It's true. It's been out for a while, but I think now because they're really questioning it and all that kind of stuff. So instead of necessarily going like having this conversation in regards to whether Chinese are doing it or not, uh, I'm more curious in regards to whether do you think that this is well, I guess it's a two-part question. Do you think that this is a start only for TikTok, like meaning this is the first state and now we're going to see a bunch of other states doing the same thing to a point where it might eventually be kind of removed from most states? And do you think that if this is the trend, do you think that this will be a boon to like YouTube Shorts or Instagram or even maybe even Twitter? Because I know Twitter is probably getting into the video like short videos as well. So what do you think of that?
Well, I mean, first of all, like banning anything in a free country just signifies that it's no longer free. I mean, it's
Whoa,
a
whoa, 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 whoa,
yes,
whoa,
yes,
whoa! No,
yes, yes.
come on, come on,
Simple.
come on, come
Okay,
on.
we're gonna move.
Hold on a second. This is hold on.
Yes.
I don't want to stop with this. Hold on. This is very, 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 very different than banning something. Okay, if for example something has like children pornography, you're not gonna be like, well, banning anything in a free country. No, no, okay. There are certain things they believe, and again, that's why I didn't want to get into the whole Chinese thing, but they believe that Chinese people are, or the Chinese Communist Party is stealing information. So I don't want us to get into the conversation of this in particular. I want us to get into the conversation of the financial side because I don't
Yeah.
think we're just going to see eye to eye on it. But let's just go to the financial side.
Well, I mean, the financial side has no impact on the users. The users aren't making any money off of it unless they obviously invest into TikTok, which I'm
Well,
not.
no, hold on,
Right. So,
Uh, one, I do think that they do get paid from TikTok, but it's really, really small. It's really
oh,
small, even
oh,
even for the biggest.
yeah.
But there is a big portion of TikTokers who use TikTok to propel them to other things, where they get really big ads because they have like lots of people watching their videos, so they sell big like big ads. They make a full career, and not like a light career, but like where they become millionaires off of TikTok. So it does provide a lot of work for a lot of people that make money off of it. So that is a thing.
Right. Okay. So you just move to another state and then you can pretty much continue, right? But
Sure.
I think that obviously, TikTok is going to suffer. I mean, there's not too many people living in Montana, but I
No, no,
do,
right. But we're talking about whether not necessarily for Montana. The
yeah,
question is,
that's how I was going to
will
get.
this be a first state of many, or is this like you think it's
But
just going to be localized to Montana, maybe
that's
one or two other
what I'm
states?
trying to get into, right? So what I'm saying is that Montana is the first state to ban it, and other states might say, okay, we have to ban it as well, and there is a chance that at first it's just some smoke, you know, coming out of the tree or whatever, and then other states are gonna go along with it, and then there's gonna be a big fire, and then it's gonna be completely banned. When, I don't know, but if they're finding that the Chinese are spying on people and they're stealing their data, then other states will do the same. So it obviously it's bad for TikTok. I mean, there's no doubt because the United
Right,
States
right.
has
Yeah,
a huge
I
population.
completely agree with you. There's no question that this is like TikTok doesn't want this to happen, and yeah, I agree
Exactly.
with you there.
Well, I mean, on two fronts, right? Because if it's true they're stealing data, they don't they want to continue stealing it. And the other aspect of it is obviously they're making money off of people just using it as well.
Hmm.
So it could be bad for them. The state obviously doesn't suffer at all.
No,
So
not
yeah,
not not much of anything. I mean,
yeah,
but
exactly.
I
I
have
mean,
to. Yeah, go ahead.
actually, you know what? They could. I mean, there might be some hardcore TikTokers that are like, you know what? I don't like this decision. I don't like the way that Montana is running the government there. I'll move somewhere else. So there is a possibility if there's a bunch of people who are actually hating this
If hold
decision.
on a second. If you are hold on a second. If you are somebody who uses TikTok so much that you will leave a state for it. Okay, dude. All right, just move on. That's fine. This is a person that
Yeah.
it's all right if you leave like lose that person. And I can't imagine too many people who are like, you know what, like I don't have access to TikTok. I'm moving to another state that gives me access, and they'll
Okay, okay, but
continue moving.
think about this, okay? You're living in a state where pornography is legal, right?
That's different. That's
Oh, it is
different.
different. It is
That's
different.
different. Like
I
like
agree. It
TikTok.
is different. It is different.
TikTok is not the,
But
is
it
not a
could be, but it could
no
be pornography
no.
to that person.
It can kind of, but there's still pornography though.
No, no, no. I know pornography is not going away anytime soon, I think. But
Right.
what I'm saying is that like you're a hardcore TikToker. Like you're making good money and all that stuff. Like you're hardcore at it, you love it, you use it, and then they ban it, right? So then you're like, fuck it, I'm leaving. There could be 10 people that leave. That could
Again, I
that could
agree with
fuck
you.
up
I
that could
agree with
fuck up
you.
Montana.
I completely agree with you when you said the 10. I agree with you. Like there, okay, there will be people that will leave a state, especially if you have, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. You will have somebody leave the state because it's like the governor said hello instead of good morning or something. Like there's always going to be crazy people, but speaking for most, it really isn't going to affect the vast majority of people who live in Montana.
Okay,
But okay, go ahead.
what if they start banning Twitter?
Again, I really, unless you're like, Twitter is a big part of your job, and let's say you make money because you have a big Twitter account and all that then yes, you might leave. And by the way, I don't even know how they're exactly banning it, to be honest with you. I'm still like, I understand tech to some extent. I'm not like a hardcore programmer or anything, but I understand how technically it works. How can somebody in a state do something to my phone that I won't have access to it? I
Good.
like that to me is kind of like, um, and if, for example, if you say, oh well, we're just gonna block, um, like we're gonna tell all of the ISPs to block that information, wouldn't like couldn't you just use an ISP blocker then? You
Yes,
know,
yes,
like
yes,
a
yes.
VPN or something
But
like that, and just
yes, you
still go
could use
around it.
it. Yes, you could use it, but now there's like a bill, and I forget.
Oh, he didn't pass it. I know,
Uh,
I know what you're talking about. Where they wanted to, if I remember, either criminalize or remove them completely. Right? They wanted to like
no, 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 no,
ban
no,
VPNs. No? Oh, okay. Never mind
no,
then.
no. They wanted to ban VPNs and like not ban them, but if you use it
Right, criminalize. Right?
on a website, yeah, like if
Yeah,
you
yeah, 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 yeah. It didn't
website is
pass.
not
It
posted,
didn't. Like it didn't go far.
it'll pass next time, or
Okay.
the
All right.
but
Okay. 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 Let's
yeah,
get back. Okay. Hold on a second. Let's get back to the to the topic. Basic. Okay. So TikTok. Now, will this affect if more states if more states do this what Montana's done? Do you think that the other platforms like YouTube Shorts and Instagram, do you think that one of them will step in and become the new TikTok, or do you think they'll just see maybe potentially more users only?
No, I think there might be something new that comes out, right? I mean, that could be the
Oh,
case.
a completely new. You're like meaning a completely new software.
Yeah, it could be a completely new software. I think obviously, Twitter will benefit from that as well, right? I mean, it's just, I think it's actually a very interesting concept, right? Where, they ban, TikTok, right?
Mhm.
Well, wouldn't it be more interesting if you gave the option to people to just say, you know what, I'm not going to use it? You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be more interesting? Wouldn't that be more normal? You know what I mean? Like why does the government have to be the adult for everybody? You know what I mean? Like, look, they can show data. Like, look, they're transferring this data, blah blah blah. If you want to go ahead and use it, if you don't want to use it, then here's the reason why you shouldn't use it. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a wrong thing to do to just ban it. But yeah, other states are gonna follow suit. I mean,
Again,
100%,
again, I'm not like
100%.
I feel like the second time. I'm
But no, I'm saying
I'm talking about the other platforms. Do you think that this
yeah, yes. Like I said, there'll be other platforms that are definitely going to benefit. But what I'm trying to say is that Montana probably is the first one, and then there's going to be other ones that do it as well. But definitely, when somebody loses market share, then there will be always someone to pick it up, right? So no
sure,
doubt,
but
no doubt.
do you think there's going to be one in particular? Because
No,
I
no.
see I have a feeling it actually might be YouTube, and it's kind of a weird thing to say, but I feel like YouTube has done the best right now with replicating what TikTok has done. They basically have TikTok, they just call it Shorts, and they basically have it the same way. I could see people just switching over and just going to YouTube, especially with the base that YouTube has. I feel like the only thing that YouTube is missing is the algorithm that TikTok has.
But
There's
I think,
people who upload to TikTok like a really quick short and they get millions without any followers. That
uh,
doesn't really happen too often on YouTube.
right,
That's a rarity on YouTube.
right. Could it be a conspiracy, you think? Since you're mentioning that, could it be a conspiracy
See,
where
I go ahead.
I'm just saying, could it be a conspiracy where YouTube, you know, wants to, carry over those users to their platform, right? And
Uh,
they're pretty much advocating for TikTok to be banned. Could it be a conspiracy?
I
I don't know.
we know that there's definitely people who are who basically talk to our governors, to our mayors, to people to try to get bills passed and not
Yeah,
passed, right?
called
uh,
lobby.
I don't know, I don't know anything about YouTube whether they would like really necessarily go with this. My only thing, like when you said conspiracy, my only thing that like I've questioned since the beginning of this whole entire thing, and that is, so the U.S. government has questioned. This is from the left and the right. There's only one thing that they agree on right now, at least in government, and that is TikTok is bad. So if you ask people on the left or the right, like it's crazy. So I'm like, okay, so you both agree it's bad because you have intelligence that says it's bad, but yet you're not banning it. So my thing is, okay, so if you have let's say you have a business, any business in the United States, and let's say this business, you see some rat feces, okay, you are going to be closed down the same day. Boom, we close it out. You need to clear it. You need to pay a fumigator. You need to do this. And if we see it one more time, your business is done. No matter what, boom, done. But yet here we're saying that this is potentially a national security thing. You're saying you have evidence to support your thing that they're sharing with the Communist Party and this puts the nation at risk. And you're going like, yeah, but we're still not, getting rid of it. So I'm like, so either you're bullshitting
Right.
or there's some, and again, no, like there's so few things that the left and the right ever agree on except this. It's like
You mean
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but man, this sounds so shady to me.
right, right, exactly. Why don't they just release the data showing that that's the case? You won't have to ban it.
Right,
People
right.
will just stop using it.
Well, but the thing is, but I mean, if you're banning, like if you're closing any business because like there's regulations to it or whatever, and here you're saying this is a national security risk, and you're like, our hands are tied. It's like what? Like you banned people for saying things you didn't like. You
Right.
banned like a bunch of people. I'm not gonna go to names, but you banned a bunch of people because you didn't like what they said. Okay, I get it. You didn't like it, you removed them. But with this, you're saying it's an actual national security risk, and you're going, oh, what do we do? It's like, all right,
How
okay.
could it be? How Okay, well, think about this. How could it be a national security risk when regular people are using it? Like, How could it be a national security risk?
The,
You're telling me that regular people have secrets of the government? It sounds retarded. I'm sorry. It sounds
no, the idea is that, and again, this is me repeating what I've heard. Okay, so this is not my opinion, but the idea is that since they get into everyone's, so meaning, if let's say you're in the governor, excuse me, if you're in the government, you have family, you have children, you have a wife, you have a mother, you have so and so, and it's like because they'll have access to everything, they'll have access to your contacts, they'll have access to your passwords, they'll have access to so and through that you could get access to everyone else. You could get access to other people's phones. You could get access to basically everything. That's the idea behind it. The
But wait a
problem is, the
second.
problem is, if this is true, if what you're saying is true, that this is
Right.
what they're doing, just get rid of it. It's like you, it doesn't make sense to me why you would like if you're saying this is the case. But the fact is, they're not proving that that's the case, and they're just kind of like wagging their finger at TikTok, going, "Ooh, you're
But
really really bad."
do you want to hear something interesting?
Okay,
Chinese cars are coming onto the U.S. market. What?
that's different.
I don't. It's different because you're saying it's different.
No, no,
What if
no, no,
what
no,
if
no, no.
they?
I'm saying it's different because let's say they sell 100,000 cars. Let's say they even sell a million cars. That's a very big difference than everyone. I mean, TikTok is on so many different phones. It's
Okay.
not like we're not talking about one, and we're talking about something that has your personal information on.
Okay, but fine, fine. Okay, you made a good point, right? But we outsource everything to China.
Sure.
What?
Yeah.
We so what are you talking about? So you're gonna ban this, but you're not gonna ban other products for everything's from China. Maybe your mother was made in China. I don't know, but what are you talking about? They can put anything they want into any device, and you're telling me you're gonna
Well,
ban?
there's a difference. We
I don't
could
know.
review. Jose, we
I
could review. Okay. To play that, it's funny. I'm not even defending him, but I have to defend him because the things you're saying, I'm like, I don't agree with. Okay. So it they can check phones to see what software is on them, right? Like if Apple makes their phones in China, by the time they get it, it's like they're the ones putting in the software here. So like they could see what software is on them, and what they see right now is that this is a particular software that gets a lot of personal information, and they could potentially do that. Like
right, but
to get other information. But
I'm not
again, I'm not even in agreement to that because it seems so shady. If supposedly this is what they're doing,
right.
like if this was any other business, you would close it out. Period. There would be no questions about it. Like if you found out that there's like if somebody let's just say for argument's sake, let's say there's a Chinese restaurant across the street from you, and you found out that like he's constantly talking on his Chinese phone, and you constantly hear him like like go like, hey, hello, Chinese a communist party, and he starts
Yeah,
telling him,
you'll
yeah, yeah.
understand. You'll understand what
No,
he's
no, no,
trying
no.
to say.
He's saying it in English. He's a really
Right.
dumb person. He's just saying everything in English. Okay.
If he
You
can
hear him.
speak English.
Okay. You call the FBI. They come there. Like if that is really the case, they would of course close it out. Like, oh, this is a spy we got here. We're gonna
Exactly.
close this restaurant out. But here
Exactly.
we're talking about the biggest spy network ever, probably, and we're like, what are we gonna do? Like delete the app? What do we? It's like it just it's such stupidity to me. I and such shadiness that I don't even know what to say about it.
I agree. I absolutely
So
agree. Okay, let's move
anyhow,
on
let's move
to
on.
let's move on to the last story. Maybe a lot of people don't know about the Ledger, but the Ledger is one of the most popular hardware wallets on the market right now. And they've always stated that not your keys, not your crypto, which absolutely is true. If the exchange holds your cryptocurrency, then they can do whatever they want with it. It's not yours. The same thing as if you're holding your money in the bank, then technically the bank owns it, and if you never withdraw it, it's theirs. So it's the same thing with the ledger, right? So they store your keys, they store your cryptocurrency, and they've always said that do not share your keyword phrase with anybody, okay? Anyone, meaning themselves too. If you get in contact with their customer service, never give out your seed phrase. So, like, think about it. Think about what that means, right? And then I think it was yesterday or the day before, they come out with a service for $9.99 per month, where if you lose your C word phrase, they have the backup for you. Like, think about what I just said. What do you think about that, Al?
Um, okay. I know, I know what you're saying, and the thing is, for people who might not like fully follow crypto, maybe sometimes invest into it. So basically, this is the equivalent of like Apple. If you have an iPhone and you put like a code on it, and let's say you forget the code, and you go to Apple and you go like, hey, can you unlock it? Like, no, we don't have your code and we can't unlock it. The only thing we could do is we could just erase everything and you could start fresh, but we can't unlock it. We don't know your password.
Right.
That's basically the equivalent here is the company saying, oh, now we can for $9.99 a month, we can unlock it if you somehow forget it. So
Exactly.
okay, I'm gonna play the like I don't know if the devil's advocate because I kind of see their argument because I'm assuming they've had lots of people come to them and go like, hey, I forgot my password or it's not working, and we need you to unlock it, and they're like, ooh, okay. Like they're like, okay, well, we can't do anything. And now, and this is something you haven't mentioned yet, but uh, they are saying that this is something that they could have done all along, right?
That's what they
And
said. They,
and
they
this
said
is
that in the
and
email.
this is where I see the problem is that
Right. That's true.
they bullshitted everyone saying that this is not something that they could do, and this was the safety basically that was there. And now they're saying, oh no, we could have done this all along. That's where I see the big issue. To me, the service actually isn't as bad as them always being able to do that because I'm assuming there's a lot of customers that contacted them and they said, "Hey, sorry, no can do, nothing we could do about it." And
Right.
now they're going, "Yeah, we could have always done that. We just were lying to you."
Right, right. Essentially, that is the case, and but they've always, yeah, you're right about the line aspect of it. I don't appreciate that either, right? Because you're essentially saying that, oh yeah, we stored it for you somewhere in our database, but we didn't tell you about it. Why? Because we didn't want for you to realize that we're a scam artist, right? So in a sense, like, could they have stolen some funds from? I'm not saying they did, but what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is, could they have stolen funds from people? And the answer is yes, they definitely could have stolen.
Well,
They're literally saying that we have your 26 word seed phrase. So absolutely. And then the balls of the CEO to come out and say, well, if you don't like it, then leave. Yeah, people are gonna fucking leave. Damn, you're like playing with people's money. Yeah, we're gonna leave.
again, I agree with what you just said. I just feel like this was mishandled so badly that you have a product of basically like meaning this product literally only does one thing. This is not a phone. This is not a like you can play games on it or anything. This is a device that's just supposed to encrypt your cryptocurrency. So you can just keep it in your basically in your wallet. This is
Yeah,
basically your wallet. And
exactly.
that's the only thing it does. It's supposed to be unencryptable and you have a password and no one else has it. And now you're going, yeah, but we've always had it.
Right,
And
right.
while I do
It's,
not think they stole anything, I don't like
yeah,
I could but
exactly.
I
I
could
don't.
see but I can see people questioning whether there was any issue like that, whether maybe some people were taking money out of that. That could be the case. But I
Right.
don't think that that's what they did. But I could see lots and lots of people who like forgot their password or something went wrong. They whatever, and they couldn't get in and they couldn't access those funds. And now the question becomes, could if the company knows that this person can't access their account, and let's say this person has whatever $100,000 in it, but they can't access it because they forgot, could the company then come in and take it because they're like, oh, no one knows? Like Again,
Ah,
I'm in no way saying
that's
that is
actually
what happened, but I'm like, that is a true fear for somebody who did lose their password. Now I'm 100% sure people have lost their password and spent
so.
a lot of
Well,
money.
well. See, here's the thing. Essentially, by actually saying, okay, well, this kind of bails out quite a few people, right?
It
Yeah.
only bails them out if they do something about it.
No, what I'm saying is that this is a huge story right now, trending on Twitter, and pretty much if you have Twitter and you follow any cryptocurrency people on Twitter, then you will have heard about it, and then you're like, wait a second, I lost my C phrase. Oh, I can go back to Ledger and tell them I lost it, and now I can actually get it back. Oh, wow, that is insane, right? So this really opens up a lawsuit for Ledger, and
Well,
again, I mean, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish, but the CEO also said that, oh, we're the reason why we're doing this is because we want to onboard the regular people. I mean,
come on.
come on,
Well, okay,
that's
okay, okay.
bullshit.
The thing is, this is very clear. Okay, they have. I'm sure they've sold millions of units at this point, right? So you have lots of customers that have this. Now you basically could turn these products that you sold were like maybe a close to $100 or more per product. Now you turn them into a monthly. So even if let's say it's a million people that are using it, you're talking about a million people paying $10 a month. That's a whole lot of money. So
Yeah,
he's not doing it because he wants to help. The only thing though, and I think we're both in agreement of this, this opens up for lawsuits like
yeah,
crazy. Like
exactly.
for especially, can you imagine if you're one of those people who maybe you threw your device out because they told you you can't come in, and you're like, oh man, what am I going to do? Whatever, get rid of it. Or you broke it in anger, or you threw it over the, or you
Yeah.
did something
Mm.
stupid, whatever, that you like, I'm just going to delete everything and start all over because obviously I can't come big, I can't come back to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, uh, I could see a lot of people forming lawsuits right now, going, all right, this seems like you know I could get at least maybe some of my money back, or maybe even
Actually, I
more.
mean, you actually brought up something that no one on Twitter has brought up, and that is like what you just said, like you threw away your ledger, right? Because because they lost the seed phrase, the 26 keyword seed phrase. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting now because you can claim that, look, you guys probably stole my money. But yet again, the problem there is like if you don't have the public key, right?
Hmm.
Because if you have the public key, then you can see your crypto, how much you have of it, right? So if you kept, think about this, if you kept your public key, but you contacted Ledger and you said, "Oh, I lost my private keys, I lost my seed phrase, blah 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 blah," and then you go back and you see that all of it is gone. Oh
Hmm.
man, oh man, Ledger is done.
Well,
I,
again, that's a big if. I don't want
yeah,
to
of course,
I don't want to say that this is something that they did, but I could definitely see people who
absolutely.
are going to be contacting them and trying, like, if they have a ledger and it's logged, trying to unlock it. And there's going to be people who are going to be, again, I'd be very surprised if they don't have a lawsuit or lawsuits pending at this point, just because again, this was a money grab by them. It seems like they were like, "Hey, we could offer this service. Oh yeah, by the way, just to let everybody know, we just, we could have done this all along, and we lied to
Absolutely.
everybody from the literally from the beginning." Because uh, can you imagine how many people wouldn't have bought the product if they said, "Hey, by the way, we have access to your password, to your passcode. We can
Yeah,
regenerate it
yeah,
if you lose it." How
yeah.
many people would be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait! You're gonna have access to my money, even though this is a password for me?" Yeah, 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 we still have access to it. It's like, oh my god, that would
Yeah,
be.
exactly. Well, I would have never bought any device from them. I have 3 devices from them, and obviously I would have never touched it because it essentially defeats the purpose of having that 26 seed phrase. Like, I mean, if you also have my seed phrase and I have my seed phrase, it's like
I have to trust you. That's
I
the thing.
have to,
I have to trust
yeah,
you.
yeah, exactly. I have to trust you, and yeah, just we'll see what happens. But I don't
Right.
think anything good comes out of it. I
Well,
think
well, the
Ledger's
thing is,
trouble.
well, the thing is, I mean, okay, the people that use a ledger are people who are wary of other people having like potentially access to their account in terms of like you could keep it on Coinbase, you could keep it on Binance, like these big companies. That, but the reason some people at least don't, is because they're like, I want to make sure I'm as protected as possible, just in case anything happens with this company, just in case they have access to it. I don't know what's going to happen. I want to be safe. And
Yeah,
then you find out the place you did put it in is a place that could have access to your funds potentially.
yeah,
That is,
exactly.
uh, that is
Exactly.
crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Well, we'll see what comes out of it, and then we can potentially do an update if something big comes out of it.
Yep,
So,
I agree. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us again for podcast number 6. We hope to see you guys next week. And again, like, subscribe, do all that kind of fun stuff. And again, you're with Al and Stan.